fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, Yozuri, Evinrude, Lama Glass, and the Star Island Yacht Club in Montauk, New York.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. I just want to let you know, I got some news items in the beginning, got the fishing reports in the middle, and at the end, stick around. I got a couple more updates for you on the striped bass regulations, as well as states with pending regulations and where you can and how you can submit your comments. So stick it out right to the end. All right, first up this week, however, we get back into the swing of things with another big fishing show. It's the all-new Connecticut Fishing Outdoor Show. It debuts this Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Mohegan Sun Earth and Expo Convention Center in Uncasville, Connecticut. Same place we had the boat show a couple of weeks ago. This is actually being put on by these same folks that have the Northeast Hunting and Fishing Show, the one up in, in Hartford. Well, it's the first time they've expanded down closer to the shoreline, down at Mohegan. Brand new show. Looks awesome as always. You can find the Fisherman magazine at booth number 301. Now, we're going to be tough to miss because when you come walking through those doors, straight ahead, right in front of you, booth 301, you can't miss us. Dead center. Hit us up and then go check out everybody else in the show. They won't mind if you come see us first, of course. But nonetheless, we will be there all 3 days. I'll personally be there Friday and Saturday all day. We got some great free gifts to go with your subscriptions this year. As we told you before, we teamed up with the guys at Fish Bite as well as Savage Gear. So every subscription you get, every 1 year, gets 2 items, regardless if it's new, renewed, gift, what have you. If you come, get your subscription to the show, you get 2 awesome new gifts. Again, I'll be there Friday and Saturday. I'm actually doing a couple of seminars this time around. I'm going to be doing one on Friday at 4 p.m. and then Saturday at 1 p.m. Subject is basically targeting striped bass and bluefish in the surf here in Connecticut. So something I always get a lot of questions about. So it's sort of a mid-level. You know, I'm not going to cover those super basic items. Hopefully you know you need a rod, a reel, and so on. But I'm going to talk specifically about targeting those fish here in Connecticut from my experiences over the past 30 plus years of fishing the surf in Connecticut. Of course, also, we're going to have the 3R campaign stickers available for you so that you can become a contributor to the ongoing Northeast striped bass tag study. We got some big news going on with that. Let me just make sure I got the right numbers. You can check out the story at thefisherman.com, but currently we have raised over $25,000 total. Now that comes from corporate sponsorship and donations as well as private donations that have come through, both monetary donations as well as the tag team, the stickers, excuse me. We greatly appreciate everyone that has gotten in on it so far. Again, you can check out the story at thefisherman.com right now if you're not going to be able to make it out to one of the shows to get your sticker, see all the details, see who's been involved, see what it's all about. So check it out right now. Excuse me. Then looking forward to next week, we continue back-to-back shows. We'll be back up in my old wild home turf, Western Massachusetts. We've got the Springfield Sportsmen's Show next weekend. That runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Big E Fairgrounds. Love the show. Great time as always. Great bunch of promoters running it. I get to see a lot of my old friends from when I used to live in Western Massachusetts. So really cool. Come out and see us. I'll have more details, booth number, and so on in next week's video. If you can't wait, though, and you want to check it out right now, of course, we've got all the information both in a news item at thefisherman.com as well as in the calendar events where you can get all of the shows, details on every single show and more throughout the winter show season as well as all throughout the season, fishing tournaments and so on, so give it a look. One more thing before I get into the reports. I just want to point out, let you know, the Fisherman is now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. So you can watch this broadcast. I'm sure a few of you are doing it that way right now, but for the rest of you who are unaware, you can watch this broadcast as well as all of our awesome video content on your streaming TV service. Now, I just set up a Fire Stick myself. I haven't made the full drop from cable over to streaming TV just yet, looking into it. But I had to get involved in it so that I can have some experience and understanding of what's going on. I gotta say, it's really cool. There's a lot of great features on there beyond just what we have. But of course, if you do have any of those services, do a search for the Fisherman TV -fishing. I think you add in there and it will pop right up. I did it the other day. It's a free app download on there, and then you can watch all this awesome content. There's like 7 categories. Tons of great videos, so give it a look and let us know what you think. All right, enough of the housekeeping. Let's get on some fishing. It's been a little odd. I mean, we had some crazy weather over the weekend. I know my house, we had some 60, 70 mile an hour gusts. We had a tree come down. It was a mess for a lot of places. So fishing was a bit spotty, but at times it's also been pretty warm. Unfortunately, it kind of limits what you're going to be able to do by boat, and it's not making ice anytime soon, but you know, it doesn't matter. There's still fishing to be had. Jack Tibbens from Team Black Hall Outfitters, their kayak fishing team, has been taking advantage of this decent weather that we have. He's been hitting freshwater, getting in on some really big largemouth bass, and he said Ned rigs, and small creature baits dragged on the bottom nice and slow been the ticket. Now, I know I'm not a big freshwater guy, late to the game, but I just discovered these Ned rigs myself this past fall when I was out in Lake Michigan fishing, and I can't wait to put them to good use locally. Again, I'm behind the ball on that one. The freshwater guys ahead of us. I've even seen people starting to use them in the saltwater. So if you got some questions on it, be sure to stop by the BHO booth this weekend. They're going to be at that show as well at Mohegan. They got some awesome show specials on kayaks, on clothing, stand-up paddle boards, electronics, the whole deal. So stop by and see them, butter them up, looking to buy a kayak, and maybe they'll fill you in on some of those details where Jack's been finding those bass. Let's see. While the cod fishing, like I said, has been kind of tough with this weather that's just downright stinky. I mean, this is not the kind of stuff you're going to want to be out on a boat for. And then usually takes a few days for everything to calm back down. There's where there might be some boats heading out this weekend, but obviously check with your boat of choice to see what they've got going on. But, you know, it's not holding everybody back. Talk to Captain Greg of the Blackhawk. He's making the best of what he's got. And he's running one of those cool Seal Watch trips this Monday, February 17th at 9 a.m. Now, one of the really interesting things, you know, love them or hate them with the seals, so be it. With that aside, just get out there on the water for a day, getting, you know, some fresh air, maybe taking your family out. It's a great way to spend a couple hours of doing something other than sitting in at home. And what's even better, the awesome guys at the Blackhawk donate 50% of every ticket for these Seal Watches. They donate it to a local nonprofit organization. So you're doubling up. You're doing something really good for yourself, getting out, and you're doing something really good for a local organization. So these tickets are limited. They're by reservation only. You go to blackhawksportfishing.com. You can reserve your ticket. And of course, Captain Greg's going to be at the show this weekend, so be sure to drill him on what's going on with the seals, what they have been finding on the cod, what they plan on doing in, you know, the next coming days. They might have something set up for next week, so you can talk to him, as well as all the awesome crew members. I'm sure TJ is going to be there, or CJ, excuse me. Sorry about that. You're going to catch me on that at the show, I'm sure. All the guys for the boat, great crew over there, so stop by, say hello, and see what they've got going on. Okay, last up, as I said, got a little bit follow-up on the regulatory talk from last week. As I noted in last week's video, ASMFC met in Virginia. We've got a much better look as to what's going on for striped bass regulations for 2020 and beyond. You can check out a post right now at thefisherman.com where I break down every single state, what was approved for the recreational measures from Maine through Virginia. Now, I didn't get into all of the behind the scenes, how we got to this point. I wanted to just get a nice, clean, single post for people, basically a reference point to look at what was officially passed in the couple of states, most notably Rhode Island and New Jersey, that still have their final regulations pending. Speaking of which, Rhode Island had their public meeting this Monday night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go, but I had a couple of friends who did attend. They indicated it seemed like Rhode Island might be leaning towards a 30 to less than 40-inch slot limit, as opposed to the 28 to 35 the rest of the Northeast states have. I wasn't there myself, again, so I'm not sure this is just the information that's been passed along to me, but nonetheless, the state is taking public comment. You can do it through February 23rd, and this can be done in writing, old school snail mail. It would be attention Peter Duhamel, Duhamel, at the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, 3 Fort Wetherill Road in Jamestown, Rhode Island. That's 02835. Or, of course, you can shoot him an email. His email is peter.duhamel, Duhamel, at dem.ri.gov. Now, my personal feelings aside on any of the regulations that have been out there, my only feeling on this, as far as Rhode Island being sort of an island unto itself, is I'd rather see the regional consistency in regulations. We've already got Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island are all going to be fishing on the 28 to 30, less than 35 inch slot. If we've got Rhode Island sort of floating out there, brings up three issues. One, enforcement. It is a nightmare for enforcement, which is already a difficult deal. On top of that, just keeping regional consistency, in my opinion, is the best case scenario. And thirdly, to keep the regulations uniform, it allows for a level playing field for all people involved on a recreational side. So that's my direction on it. Again, whether or not the 28 to 35 was the best choice in the first place, I won't go there, but you have your opportunity to do so right now, again, in writing via snail mail or email. And of course, the other one I noted was New Jersey, which still has their regulations pending, which I believe their meeting is Thursday night. You could, of course, check out thefisherman.com for exact details on that meeting, how you can attend or submit your written comment as to what your position is on it. So there you go. A lot still going on. I look forward to seeing everyone this weekend at Mohegan, and of course next weekend up at the Big E Fairgrounds in Springfield. But of course, as always, if you plan to head out and fish this weekend, be sure to start off your trip by visiting thefisherman.com.